For a while, Amazon, after it bought Whole Foods, announced a whole redesign of its stores, which it hasn't abandoned, but it hasn't really gone forward with, in which only the front of the store with fresh produce and counters like the one where you were having people smile a little too long as you were serving them would remain. And all of this behind the scenes work of the non-front facing workers would be roboticized. How should
Yeah.
we view that? Is that a direct assault on jobs and wages, or given the often kind of inhuman conditions of that work, is it a good thing? Where should we be thinking about that attempt?
I will say it's something I've thought a lot about. I thought a lot about it in the context of trucking, where the automation of trucking is coming. It's something that's beloved. It's going to be an earthquake for this, um, e- e- extremely important sector where huge, majority of states, it's the number one employer. I think after spending time with those jobs, it became impossible for me to defend business as usual and impossible for me to romanticize the idea of maintaining those jobs. At the other hand, I think it's a social question that again, the grocery book was great at surfacing these things that can become microcosms of larger flags in how capitalism is structured right now, larger flags in how our trade relationships with other countries are, larger flags, but it doesn't provide answers. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And so um, I think the real danger for me is the jobs that aren't able to be automized, aren't able to be roboticized, which there are numbers of which, but that get then shuttered behind the scenes. So when you're a front facing worker who's selected because you have a nice smile and a great interpersonal demeanor, your job is going to be okay. If you are then put behind the scenes in a dark store or in a roboticized Amazon store where you're essentially transformed into a human robot, your working conditions are going to deteriorate. The like remaining incentives to treat you like a human being just diminish a little bit more. And so I think that shift is something that COVID very much accelerated with, you have like 30-minute grocery delivery, all of that stuff uh, really accelerated these trends. I think that's a very dangerous, a bad, disturbing trend. We are not good as a society at labor enforcement locally. We're not good at it internationally. And so the more that we put people into vulnerable jobs behind the scenes in industries where there's a pattern of abuse, that's not great.